This man was in jail for sedition, folks. They were very clear about it. They wrote about it. They were very open about their manifesto and their desires. So the fact that he was on day one of President Trump's presidency, when he promised, I will no longer, I will take back America from being angry, violent, and chaotic. He releases an angry, violent man. And not only that, if he does pardon or issue blanket pardons to January 6th violent insurrectionists, this is what he's saying. If you're my violent mob, I got your back. There's no
Yep.
penalty for violence against my enemies, whom he called the enemy from within, quoting Hitler. This is going to be a recurring theme. And by the way, you have my back, I have your back. You can do whatever you want. It's free reign for violence against all my enemies, which is why I'm glad you're talking about it and you're not glossing over it as one of the many breaking news hits.
To be fair to CNN, Waj, they just did an interview. I just watched before I came on air. Aaron Burnett did an interview with the son of one of these January 6 rioters who reported his own father to the FBI. And that's how his father got caught, arrested, convicted. He's now worried for his own safety. He said, I had to buy a gun. He may have to move house because he's worried his dad may come after him. These are the kind of people who's Trump pardoning. He's not even pretending just to pardon the non-violent folks, the over-enthused Trump supporters who accidentally walked into the Capitol on January 6th. That would have been bad enough. He's actually pardoning Proud Boys. And I want to say to you, Francesca, the Proud Boy story is a big story. The climate change story is a big story. National emergency is a big story. His second speech tonight, where he went out and rambled on about January the 6th and Nancy Pelosi and others, is a big story. All of that, and we'll come to that, I hope, but all of that ultimately will be overshadowed by one thing that happened today, which is that his top advisor, his biggest donor, his biggest supporter, the world's richest man, did a Nazi salute.
Yep.
Like a Nazi salute to most people, in the middle of the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. And he did so not once, Francesca, twice.
That I think is really key. I think that when people see it for the first time, they're like, okay, he's an awkward guy. I don't know. He didn't know how to say hello to the crowd. He did it twice. He did it forcefully. He did it deliberately. Same angle. And we are in a moment right now where mainstream news is kind of normalizing it. This is a controversial gesture. Did it mean, are we dissecting the hand gestures and all this? And it's like, and I think the reality is, what would it mean if we all admitted that, yes, that was in fact a Nazi salute? That, yes, there are white nationalists and Nazi sympathizers and Holocaust deniers who've just been pardoned. What would it mean for this country to truly admit that we have a Nazi sympathizer as president? I think for some people, they cannot compute that that our precious democracy might just be this close to loving fascists and loving cruelty and genocide. And I think for those of us who've smelled the smelling salts already, or those of us who are come from, histories and countries that have also been in the crosshairs of that, that makes perfect sense. So it's like, yeah, the biggest threat to this country, as we found out from what it was, Christopher Wray said, was coming from homegrown terrorists. I mean, he just let out all these would-be mass shooters. These are, and I think it is very significant.